A judge is weighing today whether legal and other counsel for crypto exchange FTX carry any conflicts of interest in the bankruptcy proceedings. With most of the focus now on white shoe law firm Sullivan Cromwell, here to break it all down is Yahoo Finance's David Hollerith. David, what's the deal here?
Jared, the hearing has started right now. And today's, there's going to be several topics that will be mentioned, but one that has become front and center has been the issue of conflict of interest between all of FTX's advisors, but specifically the one that's taken the most focus is with Sullivan and Cromwell. Now, what's previously known before FTX filed for bankruptcy, Sullivan and Cromwell did perform legal services for FTX, and those were mostly related to transactions. The case's U.S. trustee has also previously raised concerns about the potential conflict of interest, and this has also been echoed by several U.S. senators and a few creditors also. And under new management, FTX has actually expressed support for Sullivan and Cromwell and said that they've been instrumental to securing and recovering the assets in bankruptcy, and that to eliminate the law firm from their services would slow the bankruptcy process now. But what's really changed things is yesterday afternoon, there was a court declaration that was filed by Daniel Friedberg, who served as FTX US's chief compliance officer and its chief regulatory officer for the international section. And in that document, Friedberg lays out a story about FTX and Sullivan and Cromwell that sort of pivots around Ryan Miller, who is a former Sullivan and Cromwell partner and became FTX US's general counsel and has stayed on since bankruptcy. The claims range widely, and in general, if they're true, it doesn't look good. Just one example is Friedberg alleges that Miller had told him while they both worked for FTX that his goal was to funnel FTX's legal business to Sullivan and Cromwell. Sort of what goes on from there is a story about the relationship between the two companies and how Sullivan and Cromwell has benefited from certain things happening at FTX. And this has been echoed also by the former founder, Sam Bankman-Fried. And obviously, he's been facing fraud charges. So there's been questions around that. But obviously, this declaration is a bit more serious and it will be weighed. Now, ultimately, for a conflict of interest to be decided, the judge needs to find an example of evidence. And this testimony that's been delivered yesterday will be sort of the beginning of, I guess, what will be established in terms of what to expect as far as evidence goes.
Yeah, really interesting. Now that everybody's turned on SBF, I think Dan Friedman and his words when he's deposed is going to be really interesting here. Thank you for that, David Hollerith.